It is time to be on a straight and narrow. It is time to be in alignment. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. You are listening to or watching the Manifest on Purpose show. I am the host of that show, Kimbaley. And on this show, I inspire you to become the creator of your life and not just any creator. I want you to be an intentional creator so that you can create the life that you desire. Thank you so much for joining me today, sharing your time and energy with me. Thank you for all of those you've invited. Thank you for liking this, sharing, subscribing here, and on the website at kimbaley.com. That is KIMBALEY.com. Today, I'm going to talk about being in alignment because that is something that is so important. Being in alignment is a necessary part of manifesting on purpose. I'm going to share a story with you today that makes me think about being in alignment. But before we do, we have to hear our Astro-Numerology forecast for today, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Wednesday, September the 18th. The sun is in Virgo. The moon is in Aries. It's an 8 universal month, an 11 universal week, and 8 universal day. Today, in a sense, with the recent lunar eclipse of yesterday, is likely to find you coming of age. That takes on a deeper level of understanding and maturity. And as a result, of it, as you move forward throughout your day, you'll seem to have a better idea of your role and purpose on life stage. And don't be surprised if someone or something from the past pops up as a reminder of who you are and where you're going. Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, and those born on the 8th, 17th, 26th of the month are the likely obvious standouts for today. And once again, that is the Astro-Numerology forecast, courtesy of Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. I know that you enjoy the forecast when I come on daily, but I want you to know you can get the forecast every day by downloading the Star 8 numerology app. And you can do that by going to a Star 8, ASTAR, the number 8.com. You can also get it on Google Play, the App Store, and at linktree/numbers in you. And while you're there, you can check out some of his other exclusive products and services, including the free monthly newsletter. If you're interested in knowing what 2025 holds for you, then you should get your 2025 yearly forecast. Now is the time to get your forecast to see what 2025 is going to be like for you. We are going to be in a universal 9 year. That's a transformative year. Know your personal cycle and how you should set things up for 2025. You can get that, your compatibility report, a numerology personal report, and you can get those things for your business. But if you really want to go deep and get down to the bottom of who you are, you should book a personal astronumerology consultation, and I can help you with all of those things at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. Now, let's get into the story. This story is going to take me way back, and what I'm going to talk about today is one of the conversations that was the center of my family when I was growing up. And you are not going to believe this, but it was my grandmother's path. Let me explain. My grandmother lived at the end of a long dirt path. For many years, this path remained a dirt path because the state refused to pave it because it was personal property. The thing about this path is, yes, it was long, but that's not the only problem. The other problem is that this path got a lot of traffic. We had a big family, and a lot of people were coming back and forth every day to spend time with my grandmother or just to be back there. It was the family home. When it would rain, it got really bad because this path that was a dirt path became a mud path. And if you weren't careful, you would get stuck in one of the huge potholes in the path. And there were several, especially going straight through to the middle of the path. But that's exactly where my grandmother was. She was straight to the back of the path. So I know you're thinking it's so much simpler to go safe. And I'm glad you feel that way because my father, who just happened to know everything in the world, would always tell me the best way to go down the path is to go straight down the middle. And he would tell me this because myself and some of the other younger members of the family had a shortcut. Mr. Smith's garden was right next to the path. If you were careful and could drive really well, you could go around the potholes, around the path, right on the edge of Mr. Smith's garden, and then get back on the straight and narrow. But my father warned us against that. There were a lot of people that did not visit my grandmother at all because they felt like the path was too bad, especially if they had a new car, because they didn't want to tear their car up. Because if you go straight back and you go too fast, you're going to hit those holes and you may even damage your car. So we just felt like no matter what dad said, we were going to cut right on the side of Mr. Smith's garden. And I continued to do that until one day it happened. I sat there on the edge of Mrs. Smith's garden thinking about how now I had to walk all the way up the path to let my father know I got stuck in Mr. Smith's garden. I knew he was going to look me straight in my face and say, I told you so. I told you so. But he was the only person that could help me out. So I had to tell him about it. So I walked up and I got my dad. And of course, I was right all the way to the car. He talked about, I've been telling you for years, you have to go straight back. No shortcuts, straight back. And I learned my lesson that day. I didn't ever want to have to hear my dad talk to me like that again. So I decided from then on out, I would just be patient and go straight through no matter what the conditions seem like. That seems like a lot of people's lives. Sometimes in life, people go through things, little potholes, little bumps in the road, and they feel like maybe there's a shortcut. But what happens is when they try to get around it, the bump or the pothole, sometimes they wind up getting stuck. A lot of people complain about being stuck in their lives, and a lot of people are stuck because instead of staying on the straight and narrow, they continue to take the shortcut. So let's talk about what the straight and narrow really is. The straight and narrow is alignment. You have your intention on one end, and then you have your manifestation on the other end. But what happens between the intention and the manifestation is what's important, because that determines how long you're going to get from intention to manifestation. See, you can get in alignment with your goals, because one thing about it, if it's a goal of yours, if it is your desire, it should be something that you're seeking out. It should be something that you're looking to research. You should know exactly what to do to get from point A to point Z. Because if you get from point A to point Z, that means that you have aligned with your desire. And the reason why I use alignment and the reason why alignment is so important is because despite what people think or despite what people may say, you don't have to try to manifest anything. You are already manifesting. You are a manifestation. You need to first reprogram your mind into thinking that everything that I want is already here. I just have to align with it. If you don't attract or manifest that thing in your life that you want, it's not because it's not available. It's because you have not been able to align with it. A lot of times people get caught up in things that are so limiting. Some people may say, I would like to have more money. But then they're counterintuitive because they only think that more money comes in a few specific ways. Their mind is not open to the opportunities of how this can get to you. So, whenever it's on your path, instead of when you see a bump, go around it, go over that bump to see what you learn from it. Sometimes something negative will fall away so that something better will come, but you won't know that if you choose to give up. Alignment is simply being in the flow of your desire. Alignment is being in line with it. It's being in sync with it. So if someone is seeking to attract a loving relationship, this person needs to be oozing love. You need to create that energy of what you want to attract. Become in alignment with it. Become one with it. And once you are able to express that energy, those things will start to flow because it's right in your path. This is very simple, very important, but very much overlooked. The reason why it is often overlooked is because of those bumps that are in the middle. And I understand what you're saying, because with those bumps in the path, whenever it rained, you couldn't see how deep that hole was. So you really didn't know what you were getting into. Life is like that also. You haven't been to that next level, so you don't know what that next level will look like. That's kind of scary for some people. But that's why they use the phrase step out on faith. Some people say they won't believe it until they see it. I say you have to see it first. No matter how things are looking, just continue to forge forward on the straight and narrow path. Boy, my dad had a ball talking junk to me that day, but I'll never forget that lesson because when I decided I was going to take a shortcut, I ended up in Mr. Smith's garden. And that was the funniest thing to me because I knew how my dad was going to pick on me. But I got through that. And what I'm saying to you is just because things may be off a little bit, you may not be feeling as aligned as you should be. Just know that you can work on it. And the way that you work on it is remember your goal. Remember the intention that you set. Get excited about it. Research it. Become it. Once you become it, it becomes you. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.